Welcome into another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I'm Liv Moods, and as always, this is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. Enough about cars. Let's get into the show. We are back, and we are talking all things NBA as well as NFL. The wild card round is this weekend. The playoff picture is set. Thankfully, honestly, I am very thrilled for the first round bye for the Denver Broncos, not just for their sake so that they can rest their bodies and get better and do all the things, but also for my sake. I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress. I don't have to be, manic this Sunday. I can just chill. I can enjoy my time. I can relax, and I am so excited to do so. But I want to talk a little bit of basketball first. I have kind of neglected the NBA season just a smidge, and not intentionally, of course, but the Broncos have given me a lot to talk about, and so I haven't spent all that much time talking about the Denver Nuggets. But today I will. Okay, obviously, when Nikola Jokic got injured, that hyperextension to his left knee, which looked a lot worse in the moment. I was fearing ACL, which would have been a probably season-ending injury. Not probably, it would have been. Jokic goes out 4 weeks at least. At this same time, you have Cam Johnson out, you have Aaron Gordon out, you have Christian Braun out, right? So Jokic going out was kind of just the icing on the cake before we all went into a manic episode. That's how it felt anyways. Around January 5, you get Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun back in the mix, okay? Meanwhile, Jamal Murray is carrying this team. But even with those guys back, in years past, no Jokic, and you're worried. Non-Jokic minutes have always felt uncomfortable. It's a completely different team without Jokic on the floor. Obviously, now having Valanciunas on this team makes a little bit of a difference. I don't want to say a little bit. It makes a lot of a difference, actually, for this Denver Nuggets team. They added depth in the offseason, which has been huge, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But I think confidently I can say, no Jokic, no problem. After watching what this Denver Nuggets team did versus the Boston Celtics without Nikola Jokic, I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was stunning. You were missing so many valuable guys, Jokic being one of them, and Jokic being arguably the most important. You know, we talk about this Nuggets team as if Jokic is the only person on it, but sometimes that's how it feels when you watch them play basketball. No Jokic, no problem, though. The Boston Celtics, one of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference right now, did not stand a chance against the Denver Nuggets' depth. Yes, the depth showed up and showed out. Zeke Naji, from a defensive perspective, wasn't letting Jaylen Brown do anything, okay? I've wondered for so long, what is with the Zeke Naji contract? It doesn't make sense. I don't see what they see. You got to see the depth and why this Denver Nuggets team has kept these guys around and why they're valuable and why the season moves that the Denver Nuggets made were so important for this team. So we're seeing a team that is playing well without Jokic. And I really, really hope that the game plan does not change when he returns. This team needed to figure out how to win basketball games without Nikola Jokic, right? We're seeing something out of Jamal Murray that I think he's always been capable of. But we have had a game plan offensively to just let Jokic do everything. And he can. That's the beautiful thing about a player like Nikola Jokic is he can do it all, but he shouldn't have to. And we have gotten to see with all of these injuries, dare I say, these injuries kind of a blessing in disguise. It's forced this team to wake up, to rise to the occasion, and to prove what they're capable of. You know, a lot of these guys just haven't been given an opportunity to show us what they're made of. And now they are. And it's really, really special to see. This Nuggets team finally has depth, finally has weapons around. I actually saw a very hilarious tweet come up on my timeline. And it was like, I will never again let these Nuggets fans convince me that Jokic has no help. Okay, that's how I know you just started watching this. You just started to pay attention to the Denver Nuggets because this offseason was massive. And I think this was the first offseason that most Nuggets fans said, we finally have pieces around Nikola Jokic. This is the first, whoever tweeted this, I don't even know who it was, but let me remind you, this is the first time we've had a true backup center behind Nikola Jokic, where he doesn't have to play 40 plus minutes of basketball every time the Denver Nuggets are playing a basketball game. So yeah, no, in years past, we have been able to confidently say that Jokic doesn't have help. Not this year. And by the way, what you're seeing out of Jamal Murray is the best we've ever seen out of Jamal Murray. So, we've always known Jamal Murray was capable of more. We haven't always seen it. We're seeing it now. This team has depth. Absolutely. And I think Nuggets fans are finally feeling confident in the depth to do what they're meant to do. Like I said, injuries, in my humble opinion, were a really big blessing in disguise. Having 4 of your 5 starters out would be terrifying. And it kind of was, felt a little sick there for a second. Like, is this our reality, really? I mean, not only we didn't just get bit by an injury bug, we got like chokehold slammed to the ground by the injury Godzilla. I mean, it was taking over, and so it was a little. It was a little terrifying, honestly. But now we're sitting in a position where we are getting to watch excellence out of guys that we otherwise wouldn't. If there weren't these injuries, we wouldn't see Zeke Naji get valuable minutes. We wouldn't see Peyton Watson as often and frequently as we are, and I'm going to get to him in a second. You wouldn't see Spencer Jones. He wouldn't be given a reason to update his LinkedIn profile. Yes, this man is still on LinkedIn, and he is letting the people know. We just upset the Philadelphia 76ers. We just upset the Boston Celtics, just tapping in and letting you guys know what's up. I love it. It's brilliant. There are so many valuable pieces on this team that we're finally getting the opportunity to see because of the injury. So kind of a blessing in disguise, honestly. Jamal Murray, I have to take a second because you guys know, as I've worked in sports and covered the Denver Nuggets and talked about this team, I have been exceptionally hard on Jamal Murray, and with reason. I don't want to make it sound like I was frustrated. I think we all were frustrated because we weren't getting out of him what we knew he was capable of. And it wasn't, it always just felt like a lack of effort. And I think that's what made it the most frustrating. And it does make you wonder, were there things going on off the court? Was there a dynamic in the locker room that we weren't familiar with? Did the Coach Malone, Calvin Booth drama affect Jamal Murray in any type of way? I mean, there's just a lot. Did he not get along with Coach Malone and we had no idea? Who knows? But what you're seeing out of him right now deserves all the credit in the world. He has carried this team in so many ways. I mean, even when you didn't have Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun, but you still had Nikola Jokic, Jamal was pulling his weight. He really was. He was making Jokic's life easier. He was helping win games for this team. He's playing the best, I would say, he's ever played. Since Nikola Jokic has been out, though, you've got some other pieces coming back, but since Jokic has been out, Jamal Murray has 57 assists in 5 games to only 11 turnovers through those 5 games. You guys, this is next level. This is a Jamal Murray that is not only making a case for himself for All-Star for the first time in his career, but he's also one of the best guards in the league right now. It is exceptional to watch. It's an All-Star year for him, and it's also really starting to look like a championship year for Denver as a whole. If you get Nikola Jokic back doing what he's been doing for, 6 seasons now, okay, consecutively. Then you get Jamal Murray playing like an all-star, doing what he's doing, facilitating the offense in such a seamless way while simultaneously being an absolute, just wreaking havoc offensively for this team. I mean, what we're seeing with him is not only refreshing at this stage of the season because we normally have to wait for the playoffs in order to see it, but it really is proving that this Denver Nuggets team might just have everything they need to win a championship. You also add the depth into that. Then you add Aaron Gordon coming back and hopefully being healthy. And then you add CB in transition, plus the bench that's been able to win games without any of those people I've just mentioned. I mean, this is really shaping up to be a beautiful season for the Denver Nuggets, despite the injuries. The injuries maybe being one of the best things that could have happened to them this season. So Jamal Murray deserves his credit. He is making a case for himself for All-Star. He is positioning himself as one of the best guards in the league this season. And he is really kind of confirming to me that once you get all these pieces back and you put this team back together, this is looking like a championship caliber roster. And much of that needs to be credited to what you're seeing from Jamal Murray. 57 assists in 5 games with only 11 turnovers. It's magic what we're seeing from Jamal Star Murray. It is. So have to give credit where it's due because I've been hard on Jamal. But it's always been as cliche as it sounds, from a place of love, of knowing he's better than what we've gotten from him in past seasons, knowing that he can be an all-star, and me getting sick having to explain to people who don't respect the Nuggets or respect Jamal Murray why he is an all-star and he just hasn't had his moment yet. I've fought with people on this for years, but we're finally seeing what we've all been waiting to see from him, which is playoff Jamal is all-season Jamal. Okay, so get used to it, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so shout out to Jamal Murray. I've been hard on him before, but it's only because I know how phenomenal he is as a basketball player and how crucial he is to the success of the Denver Nuggets. You got Jamal playing the way he's playing. You've got Jokic. Kind of feels like a recipe for a championship. I'm just saying. Okay. Here is my issue, however. In all this positive talk, I'm sure you're thinking, Liv, what could you possibly have negative to say? The Denver Nuggets are winning without Nikola Jokic. The depth is showing up. Our bench is amazing. You know, we're getting people back from being injured. What could be your beef right now? Well, here's the deal. The depth has been forced to show up, and they have, which means their stock is up. Yes. Yes, which makes me a little nervous for a couple of reasons. Let me make it very, very clear, because I took to my Twitter account and I think I agitated some people. Let me make it very clear when I say that Christian Braun deserved to get paid. He deserved his bag, okay? $125 million is a lot of money. But relative to the rest of the league and how these players are getting paid, it adds up for CB to sign a contract that large, right? He contributed to a championship. He was lethal in transition last season. He was one of the best, if not the best, in transition. And he has a very, very high ceiling. This was an investment by the Denver Nuggets, right? And not a bad one at all. Let me make it very clear when I say CB deserved his bag, okay? I don't want you to get it twisted. He absolutely deserved his bag. However, that being said, okay, it didn't leave a whole lot of room for a guy like Peyton Watson. And I know what a lot of you are about to say. I already know what you're thinking. Well, it's just kind of a timing thing, right? Because now P-Watt is showing us who he was. I'm going to stop you there. P-Watt has shown you who he is. You just weren't paying attention. Period. And sad but true, I'm going to tell you the reality of the situation. Anybody that watched this Nuggets team consistently last year, anybody that was starting to pick up what was being put down, understands that P-Watt was kind of a chess piece in the Calvin Booth, Coach Malone drama. He was. There were a lot of games he should have played and he didn't. There's a lot of games he got subbed out when he had no reason to. He's one of the Denver Nuggets that can guard their rival in the Timberwolves the absolute best, and he hardly played in the series against them. He was a chess piece, unfortunately. And I have been begging and pleading. I will find receipts, folks, okay? It's not that hard for me to do, okay? I will find receipts where I have been begging for P-Watt to just get an opportunity. Give that kid a chance. Because if you do, you will love what you see out of him. And that's exactly what we're getting right now. He's starting, he's playing, he is playing his ass off, excuse my French. He is balling out. He's young, he's humble, while simultaneously stepping into a little bit of a leadership role this year. I mean, just the moment with him on the sidelines with Jokic, who's injured. He was locked in, he was focused, he was listening to the GOAT of this sport in this current moment with nothing but admiration and respect, and he is balling out, okay? Peyton Watson over his last 5 games, guys, 24.4 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 52, 41, 71 splits, 62% true shooting. I, thankfully, am not a part of the crowd that's like, dang, I wish we would have seen this out of him sooner. I always saw something in P-Watt. Always. And it is going to crush my spirit, my soul, and my being if the Denver Nuggets cannot figure out a way to pay him. So, did Christian Braun deserve his bag? Yes. All caps. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Yes. But if the price was not only $125 million, but it's also watching Peyton Watson walk, that might kill me. Honestly. So it's not a matter of did CB deserve to get paid? Of course he did. But damn. Peyton Watson has shown us who he is, you guys. You just weren't paying attention, and he wasn't getting a fair shot. And to be honest with you, with Aaron Gordon, the way in which Aaron Gordon plays and the way his body has kind of shown us over the last couple of seasons that he's going to be a little bit more injury prone as a result of the game that he plays. A guy like Peyton Watson is mandatory. I don't care. I don't want excuses. I don't know what you have to do, Denver Nuggets, but hear me loud and clear. Pay that man Peyton Watson immediately. Figure it out. Please figure it out, okay? You let that man walk, it will kill me, okay? And most of Nuggets Nation. Because now we're getting to see on full display what Peyton Watson is capable of. And some of us have been knowing. I'm one of them. I've been knowing what this kid is capable of, okay? You're seeing it. It's on full display. Make it happen. Make it happen. Pay that man. Okay? Great. Wow. What a time to be alive that I am begging for a bench guy to get a contract in Denver. That's how you know you've got depth that matters. I'm telling you guys, do I feel in my bones perhaps 3 championships in the same year in the Mile High City? Guys, don't even joke. Don't even play. Because if it happens, here's what's going to happen. Like, I got to tell you, I'll be drunk from February to August. I'm going to tell you why. Because February Super Bowl, yeah. June, July, NBA, hockey, wedding, honeymoon. I mean, it won't stop. I will need serious recovery going on after August and then right on into the next football season. Yeah, it's going to be insane, but the Mile High City right now has just got it going on from a sports perspective. It might be the most fun sports city in the world at the moment. Not kidding. Okay, between the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Broncos, what are we talking about? This is fun. We're having a good time. Okay, can't kill our vibe. Even if you try, go for it. Go ahead and try. You can. Okay. Speaking of getting paid, let's talk about NFL coaches for a moment. Yeah? Let's talk about NFL coaches, okay? 2 more since the last show that we filmed have been fired. And I actually predicted these 2, Harbaugh and Mike McDaniels, okay? I predicted this. I predicted Mr. Miami Dolphin, get out of here. Harbaugh, get out of here. I actually said on the last show, I'm surprised they haven't been fired yet. And then 2 days later, they were both gone. That doesn't surprise me. But here's a slightly different perspective, okay? The same thing happens every season. So you don't have to school me on this is normal, this is how it goes. I'm aware, but it doesn't mean I don't get to have beef with it, okay? I know that this is how it goes, and here's how it goes. Bad teams don't make the playoffs, yeah? Okay? Those same bad teams then fire their head coaches and then immediately begin looking for a new one. Okay, well, the new ones are usually employed by the good teams, and the good teams are in playoff contention. They're preparing for a playoff run. Okay, so here's my thing. It's nothing new here. We see it every season. I'm fully aware of that. Same story, different season. But now my team is potentially affected by this little nonsense, and I have to put my foot down. I just stomped it down. I have to put my foot down on this one, and here it is. Lane Kiffin may not have taught you a lot, but if he taught you anything at all, it's that it's kind of hard to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out in this business, okay? It is. It's hard. I am fully aware of the hot commodity that is Vance Joseph. However, job's not done here in Denver, Vance. So while I am very excited for you to potentially get your bag and to be a head coach if that is what you so desperately desire, we have work to do still. I don't know. This is kind of hard for me, the whole wandering eye thing, the whole, playoffs are around the corner and we're going to interviews. No, please, no. Can we wait? If you guys want VJ so bad, you'll have to wait till February. Thanks. Okay? Because you'll have to wait until after he wins a Super Bowl to get that interview. I know it happens every year, but now my team's affected by this nonsense and I don't like it so much. Let's lock in. Let's stay focused. Job's not done. I'm just saying this is kind of that part where the teams that already got eliminated and fired their head coach, guys, go take a vacation. Okay. You're not playing anymore. Relax for a minute. Leave the good coaches alone for 5 seconds. They're locked in. They've still got a job to do. Come on. Be considerate. Have a little class and respect here. I know it happens every year, but I don't like it this year because Vance Joseph is part of these conversations, and defense wins championships. And he's led a really great defense all season long, and we kind of need that defense locked in, focused, and ready come the second round of the playoffs. Okay? First best team in the AFC, first round bye, home field advantage. VJ, come on, let's lock in. I'm not accusing you of not being locked in. I'm reminding you to stay locked in. That's all. Okay, great. Moving on. I really only have like one more little conversation I want to have here, and it pertains to the NFL playoff picture. Oh my God, I lied. I have two more. I have two more. This is another NBA conversation. I want to say a big ol' thank you so much to the San Antonio Spurs. I do. It was on December 13th, or at or around December 13th, maybe the day before. Jalen Williams declared to the world that this year's Thunder team would beat the 2017 Warriors. Oh, I'm not done. I know you've already started to laugh, but there's two more. The 1995 Bulls, and the 2019 Raptors. Yes, he said that. He said it. You can call me a hater. I'm just repeating what he said. Yes, he said that. It was following this large statement. Kind of feels a little, I'm not scared of the West, little John Morant vibes, right? Where the moment this was uttered, the San Antonio Spurs came around the corner and didn't just beat OKC once. No, I think it was a span of a week and a half where they beat them thrice. Yes, not once, not twice, but thrice. They beat this OKC Thunder team, which forced them to play really frustrated basketball. You could see it. This Spurs team exposed their vulnerabilities for the league to see. I'm a Nuggets fan. I am supposed to dislike OKC. But I'm starting to get the vibe and catch the drift that unless you're an OKC fan, you don't like OKC. At least there's other teams that I'm not a fan of, but I don't dislike them. I would say every team outside of OKC doesn't like OKC. That's where we're getting to here, honestly. Then you've got Chris Finch, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, calling the NBA officials POSs for everyone to see, screaming, having to be held back, honestly. It's one thing to talk in a post-game presser with a little bit of a professional voice. It's another to say you're a POS right there on the court for everyone to see. Yes, because of the egregious calls that were constantly in favor of OKC, where you can't even breathe on these men without getting a whistle, right? I mean, it just got to a point where Chris Finch was just speaking for the people, I think. I think there was a level of frustration that was building up so high that he was really just speaking for the people. So thank you so much. It's been 2 seasons now that we've had whistles that favor this team, and it is ruining the sport of basketball, frankly. NBA, if you hear me at all, hear me when I say this. It's old. We let you have your moment last year where you just allowed whatever to happen, right? I've seen a couple of plays where SGA doesn't even get touched and he's at the line. Now we're committing magic. It's not even a foul anymore. It's magic. These are magicians. What are we talking about? I just think we're getting to a point now where you're ruining the sport of basketball. You're really ticking people off. And I just have to say thank you to the Spurs. I do think the Spurs rattled OKC to a point where, following Jalen Williams' very confident and or cocky remark, they have been humbled, and it needed to happen, right? It really, really did. You can be mad at me all you want for saying that there are insanely awful whistles when it comes to OKC games, but the proof is in the film, okay? I'm going based off of fact, not opinion. This is a fact. If you genuinely enjoy watching basketball, there's no way you enjoy watching OKC when the calls are that bad. You just don't. So I'm really, in this moment, on this Friday, I'm saying thank you, Spurs. You have a fan in me because you gave them a little slice of humble pie, which I think they needed, and you proved they're beatable. And you know what? You also simultaneously showed the league that you are not to be messed with. And I'm excited for you in that regard. So thank you on behalf of the league, Spurs, because I think OKC just needed a little slice of humble pie. And since the Spurs proved that OKC is a beatable team, other teams have also beat them. So, it just feels like it felt like a good time to say thank you, Spurs. Thank you for all you've done. We appreciate you. And that's the hater segment of the day. Yes, I'm allowed to have those. It's my show. Okay, quickly. Last thing here, my NFL playoff hot takes. First, I'll start with a very simple one at the moment. I think the Bills get bounced in the first round. I've seen a lot of discourse on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Here's what I will say about it. This is the easiest path to the Super Bowl for Josh Allen if he ever plans to win a Super Bowl. No Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. If you're gonna do it, now's your time. But I don't think he will. I don't. I really, really don't. So that's a hot take that I've got in a negative way, I guess, for the AFC. I like the Bears over the Packers. What else do I like? I like the Eagles over the 49ers. I like the Rams to come out of the NFC altogether, if we're being honest. And then, I am a very, I like facts. I like numbers. I like all of those things. But I also like energy. The people watching, excuse me, Liv, what exactly do you mean by that? Well, I'll get there. I like energy. I like it when the stars align. I like it when stories are told. I like it when history is made. I like it when things happen that just make sense. You know what makes sense to me? The Denver Broncos having the perfect Super Bowl recipe. Oh, here she goes, the homer. Yeah, here I am. Welcome to my show. Filmed in Denver. Yes, of course. They have the perfect recipe to the Super Bowl, guys. Just saying. I know you don't want to hear it. I know I don't sound anything but biased right now, but just hear me out, okay? Home field advantage. It is historically hard to play in Denver. Mile High City. They call it that for a reason. Good luck breathing. You can't hear. Unless you're used to it, which a lot of these teams are not, okay? It is historically hard to play in Denver. Not only that, the AFC will run through Denver this postseason. That's huge. That's huge for a team that only lost once at home. That's huge. This is a top 5 defense. Defense wins championships. We talk about it every year since the beginning of this sport. Defense wins championships. You've also got a head coach with experience. That matters. And this team has proven, whether you want to admit it or not, you don't have to. The proof is in the pudding, I'm afraid. Eat up. This team knows how to win under pressure, period. It's that simple. This season was just the second time in Broncos history where they won 14 games. The first time this happened was 27 years ago when they finished 14-2 and won their second Super Bowl. Oh, the stars are aligning. It's true. This year, the Broncos went 14-3. They're the number 1 team in the AFC. And the last time both of these things happened at the same time, making the playoffs and being the number 1 seed in the AFC, they won a Super Bowl, 2015. The Super Bowl was played in Levi's Stadium that year. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. This season, the Super Bowl will be played in Levi's Stadium. I'm just saying. I'm an energy girl. I like a story. I like it when the stars align. And if you want to know how I feel, I'm going to tell you right now. The Denver Broncos have the recipe to make it to the Super Bowl and win it, frankly. So what do you want? What do you want from me, guys? I'm just telling you the truth. This is what I do. I get on this show. I get my computer pulled up and I just tell truth only. No lies. Okay? That's all I've got for you. I'm very excited to see how the wild card round shapes up. I am excited for the Avs. I am excited for... Guys, can I also say one little thing about the Avs? Because I don't really know the Avs, but this is what I do know. I went to go wash my face before bedtime. It was 1 versus 3. It was 1-3. Avs were losing. By the time I was finished, I'm pretty sure it was like 5-2 the Avs had won. By the time I finished washing my face. Guys, what's happening here in Denver should be a case study because it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to. We're loving it. We're living it. We're living our very best lives here in Denver, okay? The Mile High City is a sports city that demands respect immediately, okay? get on board. Denver Broncos, Denver Nuggets, Colorado Avalanche. It is what it is. Read it and weep. We're having a great time out here. So thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I am Liv Moods. And as always, this is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. I am the proud new owner of a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus. I love my car. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. And also, maybe you check out a car or 2 or 5 and you get yourself one. Okay, that's all. Signing off for now. We will see you on Monday following wild card round and hopefully some more wins by the Nuggets and the Avs. Until then, have a great weekend and we'll catch you Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time for another episode of Mood Swings. See ya.